Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout of the evening is a middleweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds. Introducing first, this man fighting out of the red corner. He stands in at 6'3" tall. He weighed in at 185 ready pounds. Undefeated in his amateur career. 4 bouts, 4 victories, 2 knockouts. Representing the Denver Vipers, Nick the Natural Lancaster. His opponent, this man, fighting out of the blue corner. In 6 amateur bouts, this man has 5 victories. 2 of those victories also come by way of knockout. He stands in at 6'1" tall. He weighed in at 183 1/2 pounds, representing the San Diego Valor, Hakob Ter-Petrosyan. All right, ladies and gentlemen, getting ready for our middleweight bout. Nick the Natural Lancaster versus Hakob Ter-Petrosyan. Chris Garrity here with the silverback Seth Petrozelli. A couple of boys in the cage right now, and a big-time kick that puts him down.
I just hurt my own ears screaming like that. Hakob now has a guillotine choke on Nick. Man, that head kick, though, I thought it was lights out a la our last episode we just saw from Tom Conley.
Yeah, good recovery by Lancaster, though. Took the shot, went down to a knee, popped right back up. Oof. Even was able to have enough sense to get out of that guillotine also.
Yeah, that was flush, man. Shin to the neck. Nice kick. Hakob has some real lanky arms and legs. Got some real reach on him for sure. Those kicks are going to be dangerous this whole fight.
Fight definitely starting out a little bit different than what we've seen so far. Both guys would like to fight in close like this, in the clinch already, jockeying for position up against the cage. Denver Vipers representative Nick the Natural Lancaster. He's in the white shorts with the red trim. Hakob Ter-Petrosyan, San Diego Valor's blue shorts, yellow trim.
Now you see how Hakob is getting that deep underhook with that left arm. That's what I was talking about in the fights before. That's what you want to kind of try and get. Now he wants to try to swim his right arm underneath too, and he can kind of get Nick's both of his arms up high, so that way you can just drop knees, throw some punches, whatever you want to do.
And Nick had lowered his right arm down to prevent those knees from hitting him in the midsection, so instead what Hakob did is he took the knee and went to the inside thigh instead.
Smart. What I would like to see now, though, is Hakob using his forehead, pressing against the temple. Both fighters, I would actually like to see that from head positioning.
You know, different referees do it different ways. This is kind of a similar stalemate to what you saw on the ground in our previous fight, which was separated. But again, this referee here letting him go. Some damage being caused. Good job from Lancaster, you know, not allowing the takedown there.
Yeah. Back in the same position now, under-over position.
So when you're in the gym and you're training against your cage in the gym, what's the best position? At least, what did you like the most as a grappler? Under over, both underhooks? What was best for you?
I mean, under over is a great position for not just low blow there. It's a great position to just kind of stall, kind of work to either transition down to the legs or work your knees. It's a stalemate position. I mean, when you have somebody pressed with an under and over, I mean, nobody's in real control except for the guy pressing a little bit. So I mean, it's just kind of a stall technique.
What kind of power shots are you getting from that? I mean, they're not allowed to throw elbows in amateur ranks. So, I mean, other than the knees coming up to the midsection or the thighs, which this one we saw go to the groin on an accidental groin shot there. I mean, so in amateur fighting, would you think the coaching might be a little bit for separation there?
Yeah, that, or I would definitely coach. I mean, you got the unorthodox strikes, like the shoulder strikes, and you can use those to pop them off the cage and get separation, so that way you can drop down for the double leg. So it's either transition down to try to get a takedown or just separate.
Opening up on the striking a little bit here for both guys. 2 round kicks went over the head of Nick Lancaster. Petrosyan wasn't able to land, but it looks like he might get a position here. He is right now on Lancaster's back. Let's see if he can seal the deal and get both legs, both hooks in.
Yeah, that was a bad position for Nick to land in. Nick, though, was doing everything he could. He had his arm tilted back in a wizard position, keeping him from circling all the way back, which was a good job.
And you heard the 10-second knock. Very close round just ended here. Round number 1 in our middleweight division. Nick
the Natural Landcaster, Hakob Ter-Petrosyan for San Diego Valor. And boy, this one, I'm not ready to call on this one, Seth. You're going to have to go on this one.
See? I got to give it to Hakob just on the head kick drop below, and that was a huge score point for me. Score pointer for me. I mean, that head kick dropped him. Nick came back really fast and recovered from it, but I still think that head kick was beautiful, and that scored a lot of points. Plus, Hakob stayed busy the entire time, throwing lots more kicks. And then besides that, it was pretty much a stalemate the rest of the time. So.
Well, my PIC has swayed me at this point, so I'm doing the same thing.
I could talk you into anything, Chris.
Yep. We'll
almost anything.
Don't tell people that. All right, well, Hakob Ter-Petrosyan, looks like we are going to give him the round on both Chris Garrity's and Seth the Silverback Petrozelli's scorecard. Folks, if you disagree with us, remember, live tweet us right now at AnnouncerMMA, at Silverback Seth on Twitter. We've been answering some questions live here, including, remember, Prince's nickname. I think we went over that in the post-fight interview. So, yes, your Twitters are going through, so make sure that you tweet us as much as you can because we're going to answer those questions. Round 2 just gets opened up. A lower leg kick for Hakob Ter-Petrosyan ends up in just a grappling match again with Nick Lancaster. Nick likes to keep the fight close. It looks like Petrosyan would rather keep it striking, so this is a good contrast here.
And here we go again in that under-over position. Just kind of a stalemate. I mean, what I would really like to see is somebody level changing, trying to. Oh, nice.
And that's what he was gunning for, it looks like, but then gets himself into trouble and reversed here and ends up on his back underneath Hakob Ter-Petrosyan.
That was wrestling 101 from Nick. That was beautiful, but then Hakob did a great transition, like you said, end up on top. I love the scrambling I've been seeing from all fighters this whole fight card. Nobody's satisfied with just ending up on the back, ending up on top. They're always scrambling, trying to improve position.
And again, the level of fighting at our amateur level. Looking for going to straight ankle now again.
Wow,
in the amateur rules, nothing twisting, so the referee's going to have to take a look closely and make sure that this isn't going to be an illegal leg lock. Looks like he's pulling straight for it right now, though, Seth.
Hakob's going for the same exact thing. That's the problem with ankle locks, straight ankle locks. The opponent can do the same thing. If your leg's not in good position, you can both get ankle lock. And Hakob's arching back now. Oh. I love seeing ankle lock battles. This is old school. You don't see these very often.
Neither fighter seems to be grimacing too much, so I don't know how tight either submission is at this point, and it looks like they're almost both out of it completely here.
Oh, now they're back kind of in it. Now, yeah, like you said, there's no twisting submissions, but, you know, in pro MMA or in a grappling tournament, what you'd see is them transition from the straight ankle lock to a heel hook, bringing the point of the elbow around to the heel and then twisting the knee, or twisting the leg, which puts pressure on the knee and could tear the ligaments.
And another strategy when someone's putting an ankle lock or any sort of, any sort of submission on the leg there is they have to use both their hands to lock that in, which leaves their face wide open.
Exactly.
So if you can get the leverage, which he's looking at right here, to posture up, either do some damage by throwing some punches or at least change things for yourself. And there's your wrestling for Nat Lancaster. Good scramble, ends up on top of Hakob.
Now, there was a lot of a stalemate being up in the over position. I'd like to see some work now from Nick being on top. That's what I would be screaming if I was this corner. I would go, stay busy, let's see the work. You got to score here. And you hear it right now from this corner. You got to work,
Good long legs from Hakob Ter-Petrosyan, looking to lock in a submission. Don't think he's going to have enough time at this point. Less than 10 seconds left in the round.
Thought he was going for Umaplata, but kind of went for a reverse armbar. Oh, now
Nick Lancaster adding a stamp onto the end of the second round. That could have swayed the judges there, Seth. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. Again, that was another close round. Last 10 seconds was definitely on Nick being on top, ground and pounding. Yeah, let's make it interesting. I say it's 50-50 now.
I go 50-50 too.
One round to one round.
Round apiece here. You heard it. Silverback Seth right there. Make sure you let him know it on Twitter at Silverback Seth, at Announcer MMA. We've got this fight a round apiece for both of these guys here. 19-19 so far. We're going to see what happens in this third round. This is a middleweight bout. Remember, Seth, the winners of this bout move on to Syracuse.
That's going to be a fun card.
Which is going to be a fantastic card because all winners are going to be on that card. Those folks would then move on to our national finals, which we're going to have in San Diego at the Harrah's Casino, which is going to be one of the largest events we've ever had here at Fighter Source. So lots to come.
That's amazing, man, being at a casino like that. It's going to be fun.
And remember, at home, our FighterSource.tv audience can watch our pay-per-view live anytime. And the big announcement that we made earlier in the pre-show, folks, if you didn't hear it already, we're going to tell you once again, CBS Sports partnering up now with Fighters Source. You're going to be able to see not only our Syracuse show, but also our national fighters from San Diego on CBS Sports.
That's huge, man. Like we said in our pre-show, we were sitting on that info for quite a while, and I was super stoked to announce it. Last show, I was like, can we say it? Can we say it? You know, the higher-ups, Anthony and Adam, were like, no, just hold off. And I'm so glad we can announce it now and tell everybody that we're going to be on CBS Sports.
And I'm sure you've seen it in the cage. If you didn't see our pre-show, that CBS Sports logo sitting right there in between the Grips logo and the Fresno Force logo.
Now, Nick has to be really careful. He has a good scarf hold position, but being against the cage, it's going to be real hard to roll him any further. And Hakob can make it easy for Hakob to get his back in this position.
So the fact that Hakob has wrapped that leg around, is that helping him control a little bit?
Yes, 100%.
And look, now he's going to end up on Lancaster's back if he doesn't be careful, but good job from Lancaster, flipping around. Got to watch out for his neck here, and he does. Big time slam for Nick, the Natural Lancaster.
Good job, Nick, though. He was on the wrong side with the guillotine, and he just hopped right over to the correct side, so he wasn't stuck on that guillotine. Now it looks like thought he was going to go to a north-south choke, but he's more content with just pounding away at Hakob.
And now in the mount position is Lancaster, and he wants to steal this fight right here. Seth and I both have this fight even. We have no idea where the judges are at, but it looks like Lancaster's putting his stamp on this fight right now.
Hakob's got to move, man. If he's not careful, the ref is looking close. He's asking him right now to move. This might be it for Hakob.
Seth's monkey punch is raining down on top of Terpatrojen,
and that's
it is all over. The referee had seen enough. Massive, massive win for Nick, the Natural Lancaster, Seth.
Yeah, that was beautiful. He saw the blood, and he went for the kill, man. On top mount position, got a few punches in, and Hakob started covering up, and then Nick just went in for it.
Yeah, that transition to the mount was fantastic. You saw he had a lot of strength left, and it looked like Terpatrojen had nothing for him left. We got a TKO victory for Nick, the Natural Lancaster. You'll see us up in the cage very shortly for your official winner's announcement.
Nick, good job, bro.
Gentlemen, your referee steps in, calls the stop to this bout at 1 minute, 34 seconds of round number 3 for your winner by TKO and still undefeated, Nick, the Natural Lancaster.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing here with your winner, Nick Lancaster. Nick, amazing TKO victory, great fight. It was a lot of scrambling back and forth. How you feeling right now, moving on to the next round?
I feel great, ready to fight in New York. I know I looked a little sloppy. It'll get cleaned up, I promise.
I didn't think so. I don't think the fans out here thought so. One thing, though, I want to ask you about is that head kick at the very beginning of the fight. It did drop you. How were you able to recover so fast? Did it not put you out? Were you just bouncing right back from it?
It didn't knock me out, didn't put me down at all. I just lost balance. recovered right away and kept attacking.
Yeah, you recovered beautifully. Now moving on to New York. What's your game plan going into this next round?
Just keep my hands working, and then always pressuring forward, putting the fight to him.
Well, definitely work this time. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner, Nick Lancaster!